It sounds like a plot from a Hollywood thriller. New York City spared from disaster in the nick of time. Today, new details emerging about how the suspected Boston bombers were reportedly plotting to attack Times Square last week. Those very streets you see behind me. As millions of New Yorkers shudder at the thought of what could have been, ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross uncovers the alleged deadly plan gone awry mere hours before detonation.
Juju, based on what the New York mayor and police commissioner said Thursday, New York just missed being attacked by the accused Boston bombers as they apparently sought to maim and kill again.
It sounds like a plot from a Hollywood thriller. New York City spared from disaster in the nick of time. It sounds like a plot from a Hollywood thriller. It sounds like a plot from a Hollywood thriller. It sounds like a plot from a Hollywood thriller.
Another one just happened right across from us, and it was just this huge explosion, and there was just debris everywhere.
A big, huge explosion while we were having lunch, and everybody ran for the doors and windows, and we were sheltered under tables.
These explosions occurred 50 to 100 yards apart, and each scene resulted in multiple casualties.
Explosion looked like it was right outside the Marathon Sports, right by the finish line there, or the building next.
It's just something I've never experienced in my news career, is pulling up on the scene and hearing multiple gunshots fired.
We heard 3 big booms and multiple gunshots.
Just like a ton of gunshots, and then like boom, boom, like 3 big bangs.
What we're looking for right now is a suspect consistent with the description of suspect number 2.
We're asking people to shelter in place, in other words, to stay indoors with their doors locked and not to open the door for anyone other than a properly identified law enforcement officer.
A big, huge explosion while we were having lunch, and everybody ran for the doors and windows, and we were sheltered under tables.
We heard 3 big booms and multiple gunshots.
A big, huge explosion while we were having lunch, and everybody ran for the doors and windows, and we were sheltered under tables.
We heard 3 big booms and multiple gunshots.
Hey YouTube, I'd like to thank Current Spider for leaving a video response on my last video. This video was based on that, and I'll leave the link in the description box. I really hope you check it out. I also would like to thank everyone who's been sharing my videos. If everyone hits the like button, the tweet button, the Facebook button, shares on all social media, it'll be quite easy to get this word out a lot faster. If you have 8,000 views, it'd be nice to have 8,000 likes, you know? If you do that, it would go into the millions. It would go viral. But I would like to thank everybody who's sharing. They've been running fake news since before you've been born, okay? They've been using propaganda and lies in TV and movies and cartoons and video games. Everything you see on the news is like a Hollywood movie. That's exactly what it is. I'm telling you right now, it's all 90% propaganda and lies. They mix some truth in with mostly propaganda and lies. You're being lied to, okay? It's called the New World Order. They want 80% of the population exterminated, and they will get that, okay? Because nobody is waking up to this. I mean, some people are, and that's why I make these videos. And people can't believe it, you know? If you're lied to since birth, and you never question the mainstream media or your president, you've never voted a president in, and you don't even know that. All presidents are related, okay? They're all cousins. Every one of them have been chosen. They've also written into the new NDAA bill that they can actually legally lie to you and use propaganda against you in news and movies and cartoons and any kind of media. They've been doing that for years. Now they're just making it legal, okay? They love to do that. Your government are the terrorists, okay? They want their new world order, a one world government, and any country that does not cooperate with this, we attack, okay? Your history is all wrong. You've been lied to. All the textbooks are wrong, okay? We bombed Hiroshima. We didn't have to. We wanted to test out the bomb. We killed innocent women and children in their houses, and everybody was okay with that. Just like in the Boston Marathon, chasing a ghost teenager, 19 years old, who worked for the FBI. He was a patsy. They set him up. They knew who he was ahead of time. Okay, he was working for them. All right, and we put the whole city on lockdown and searched every house, door to door, pointing guns at children and women. Okay, why would you do that? They have crimes in New York City all the time. When they use detectives to chase out their criminals, all right? They don't go door to door and point a gun in everyone's face and have them out. That's called martial law. Okay, why are you okay with this? You've been trained to accept everything that's happening to you. Okay, wake up. You're being lied to. It's all a big Hollywood event. You see how we caught them using the same witness, the same crisis actor, on two separate events, okay? Two separate events, we got the same woman as a witness. That is totally impossible. Okay, you explain that one to me. You also explained to me my last video called French Fries with Gravy. Check it out if you haven't seen it. No blood. No blood coming out of the victim's legs because it was a double amputee actor with prosthetics on. And I show you there is no blood on any of the victims. They haven't added it in yet. Okay, his bone, at the moment of the explosion, his legs that have been blown off are sitting on the other two actors' face, the guy with the hood and the woman. Okay, she's wearing a white shirt and not a drop of blood has splattered on her face or on her shirt, and same with the guy. Okay, check that video out. It's called French Fries with Gravy. They're going to continue to terrorize us. Your government, they are the terrorists, okay? The United States government, the New World Order, it's the elites, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Rothschilds, the Bushes, okay, the Queen of England. All these people are working for the New World Order, and in the future, it could be next couple of weeks, it could be in the next month or two, they're going to stage more terror attacks, but they're coming from your government, and the people who are responsible are the ones reporting it on your television, okay? This is real, people. Okay, it's been going on since before you've been born, I wish you would just look into it and stop leaving dumb comments, okay? Wake up, okay? I've been doing this since 2005, 7 years now, 8 years. You know, I do this, I look for this stuff every day. I know all about it. Well, not everything. I don't pretend to know everything about it. But I want you to do your own research and look up what I'm talking about, because all our lives depend on it. Okay? Without everyone waking up to what I'm talking about, we don't stand a chance. Okay? This video, I want it to go viral. Okay? And for you people who don't believe news on the internet coming from people like me, here is a clip from mainstream media telling you pretty much what I've been telling you, that you're being lied to, and the news is just a big fat setup. Okay, check this clip out. Actually, before I play that clip, if you notice in the beginning of this video, they said they spoiled their plans to attack New York City now because they caught them. They can say anything they want now. Okay, they killed the one kid. The other kid, he can't talk. They shot him in the throat. He didn't shoot himself. He was sitting on the edge of that boat, and he was fine. He wasn't even bleeding. Okay, and then all of a sudden they find him on the floor. They shot that kid. All right, in the throat and in the leg. There was no plan to attack New York City. That's bullshit. Okay, do you see what they're doing to you? Okay, they're going to continue the terrorist threats. Even after these kids are long gone, there's going to be a new demon, a new devil to chase. It's all lies and propaganda. They're hurting you like animals, okay, into the direction where they want you to go. Don't fall for it. They're going to put little news piece after little news piece trying to convince you that their lies are true. It's all a make-believe story that they conjured up. Okay, the FBI contacted these two kids, and they made patsies out of them. Okay? All this stuff is being done by your government. Okay? Please don't believe it. Okay? Here's the clip.
Does the government work for us, or do we work for the government? Can the federal government take credit for saving us from a plot of its own creation? Tonight, has the federal government kept us safe, or does it just want us to think that it has kept us safe? Since the tragedy of 9/11, numerous crazies and low-level copycats have engaged in criminal behavior which they hoped would result in the deaths of innocent Americans and somehow advance their cause of jihad. If you ask the leadership of the FBI, most of whose field agents are tireless, dedicated, Constitution-supporting professionals, it will tell you that the FBI, has foiled about 17 plots to kill Americans during the past 10 years. What it will not tell you is that there have been 20 foiled plots, and of them, 3 were interrupted by members of the public. The 17 that were interrupted by the feds were created by the feds. We all remember the 3 that were foiled by diligent Americans: the shoe bomber, the underwear bomber, and the Times Square bomber. In all of these cases, the crimes charged were those of attempting to kill and conspiring with others to do so. In all 3 of those cases, alert Americans on transcontinental flights or in the streets of New York City told authorities of bizarre behavior or actually subdued the threats themselves. There was no foiling by the FBI. The plotters were, thankfully, bumbling fools who had poorly planned their criminal behavior and who ended up harming no one. All 3 are serving life terms. But the more curious cases are the remaining 17 for which the federal government has taken credit. They all have a common and reprehensible thread. They were planned, plotted, controlled, and carried out by the federal government itself. In all of these 17 cases, from the Fort Dix 6 to the Lackawanna 7 to the Portland parade bomber, the feds found young men of Muslim backgrounds, loners who were bitter at America. They befriended them, cajoled them, and persuaded them that they could change the world by killing Americans. In all these cases, agents worked undercover and portrayed themselves to the targets as Arabs of like un-American mind. In some cases, the federal agents used third parties to act as middlemen. The third parties were typically persons who had been convicted of crimes and who, in return for leniency at their own sentencings, were willing to work with the same feds who prosecuted them in order to help the feds entrap whomever else those feds were pursuing. Thus, in all 17 of these cases, because of the command and control of federal agents, no one was ever in danger, no one was harmed, no bomb went off, and no property was damaged. But in all those cases, the losers whom the feds targeted each believed that they were interacting with real plotters who would bring them cash and bombs. As we know, sometimes the cash arrived, but the bombs never did. The defendants were essentially charged and convicted for playing a game with federal agents. The most recent of those government-generated plots was revealed yesterday. It has a new twist because it allegedly involves agents of the intelligence apparatus of the government of Iran. It, too, was destined to go nowhere, as the feds monitored and taped every move made by their target as he interacted with federal agents whom he stupidly believed to be drug dealers and co-conspirators. Today, the feds themselves revealed that high officials of Iran's government knew nothing of this. Of course, the neocons have demanded bombs on Tehran, no matter what the government there knew. And this plot came to light the day before Attorney General Holder himself was subpoenaed by Congress in the Fast and Furious case. You get the picture. Are any of these plots criminal? Can the government just pick and choose whom to seduce and then lower the boom at the right time and arrest its would-be Confederates? Is this a proper and efficient use of law enforcement resources? The answers to these questions are obvious, and they are not good. The courts have made this legal, so long as the target of these plots had a mental predisposition to cause harm. But none of this keeps us safe. All of this makes us less free, as any one of us can be entrapped. And we are fools if we praise the government for exposing a plot of its own creation and saving us from a danger that never existed. Can the government break the law in order to enforce it? Well, when it does, it becomes a law unto itself, and the rule of law dies as the feds decide whom to target and whom to trap. Think about it. Are we really safe in a false sense of security? Why do we pay the government to trick us into believing it is keeping us safe? When no one is harmed and the government controls the plot, aren't we just punishing someone for his thoughts? And in a free society, aren't free people free to think as they wish? This must be so, because if the government can punish our thoughts, there are no limits to its power. From New York, defending freedom,